This is mostly due to chapter 984 and what we learned in 983. And spoiler alert, if you haven't read chapter 984, we find out that Yamato is actually a female. And for me, it's interesting because in 983, when we found out about Yamato and everything she accomplished, immediately people are ready to thrust her into a top commander role or top commander level in regards to strength. And a lot of people agreed with that. Now we find out Yamato is a female, people are automatically downgrading her and saying that more than likely she's not going to be that strong strictly because she's a female. People have been criticizing that way of thinking, saying, hey, we shouldn't view females like that, but I think in One Piece that might be fair. In regards to like the top 5 strongest females in One Piece, like I tried doing that in my head, and of course we have the Big Mom, Hancock, Smoothies. After that, it's really anyone's guess, but is this really a problem? Is this really an issue in regards to One Piece characters where females are not represented as well in comparison to males? I think so. First, let's go to the #1 strongest female in One Piece, Big Mom. I think Big Mom is recognized as a very powerful individual, someone that is to be respected. She's a Yonko, so obviously her strength is comparable to the other Yonko for the most part. Let's not even get into that. So she is in the elites in regards to strength. Now, a lot of times people automatically downgrade Big Mom because they look at her strength, but then they say Big Mom doesn't really accomplish anything, even though she's that strong. So they look at not only Big Mom's strength, but Big Mom's competence, right? Where for a lot of the female characters, you can argue that they have all the tools to be successful, all the tools to be maybe the top one in the verse, but the execution of how they go about things, it's not done really well. Big Mom, again, she's a Yonko, one of the most feared characters in One Piece, but when we get introduced to her, there are a lot of things going on there that make people automatically downgrade her because things aren't executed well at all. It's a really difficult conversation because in Whole Cake Island, nobody could defeat Big Mom. Like there's nobody on the Straw Hat side that could defeat Big Mom, so Big Mom in a way, she's viewed as incompetent, or she's portrayed as incompetent so that the Straw Hats and the alliance that they threw together in Whole Cake Island for them to get away. But I guess for me personally, we have to look at it objectively and try to not just focus on the plot and how things played out, but look at her tools, look at things that she has. Big Mom is still a force to be reckoned with. But it would be completely ignorant of me to dismiss the concerns that people have about Big Mom's portrayal and how she normally goes about things. Again, Big Mom is one of the strongest characters in One Piece. And to be fair, I think some of the criticisms about Big Mom is kind of overblown and it's become a meme in the community. That's why people call her Big Meme. I think that's, again, heavily overblown, but you really can't ignore the incompetence, not just on her, but her crew in some instances. Even going back to the history of Big Mom has tried to accomplish things, right? She has the history with, she's attempted to marry Lola off so that she can make her forces stronger. That didn't work out. And for the most part, Big Mom has been dormant for a very long time. Like post Roger, nothing has really happened in regards to Big Mom outside of Whole Cake Island. Big Mom for the most part has been out of sight, out of mind. I think I'm guilty of this as well, where when we talk about the Yonko, well, back in the day, I'm talking about when we got introduced to the Yonko, automatically for me, Big Mom was 4th. And that was mainly because of the portrayal of the women in One Piece, right? I want to get to Smoothie, but let's go to pre-time skip, where someone like Tashigi, I think I had very high expectations for Tashigi. One of the reasons was because of Kuina and Kuina's mindset, in which she felt like because she was a woman, she couldn't be very strong, or she's not going to be viewed as strong, or she's going to automatically fall behind the men who are naturally stronger. So for me, I felt like Oda killing off Kuina, then introducing this character who is obviously looks just like Kuina. She's a swordsman. She was trying to collect legendary swords. She would be someone that's really competent, that's very powerful, that could compete with Zoro, that's on the side of the Marines. Obviously, Smoker is going to be the one that's chasing down Luffy. His right hand would be someone comparable to Zoro. Now, jump to post-time skip. Kuina was a massive disappointment in Punk Hazard. Even though she got a bit stronger, it was not nearly as significant as her counterpart that we thought at the time in Zoro. Of course, no one really thought she could ever beat Zoro, but creating this character in the vein of Kuina, one would assume that at some point she would show the skill and basically prove everything Kuina thought wrong. Whereas like if you're female, that doesn't mean you cannot be strong. Again, that is something that is overblown because people view Smoker the same way. With Smoker, they feel like he's a massive disappointment in comparison to pre-time skip, but there are a lot of reasons why Smoker was a lot more impressive pre-time skip as opposed to post-time skip, right? But those are small things in which you thought, well, females can be strong, they're just not portrayed as such. A major character people also talk about is Nico Robin, which Nico Robin, when we first got introduced to her, she was a monster. Like she was low diffing the monster trio by herself. She has the abilities, the devil fruit, and just the smarts and experience to be one of the strongest fighters, not only in the Straw Hats, but in One Piece. Piece, right? Nico Robin, after she joined the crew, she became somewhat a shell of herself in which she remained in the background and became just a support character. Even going into post-time skip, Nico Robin has learned some impressive abilities, but we see them very infrequently. And for someone like Nico Robin, who is as inquisitive, likes to read books, always in search of information, she came back after the time skip not knowing hockey. And that was extremely weird for someone of her caliber, knowing that she's always seeking information. Also, she was with the revolutionaries, and seeing Sabo, who probably has advanced armament, being with Dragon and those guys, you would think that's something she would have attained. And again, it goes back to the stigma of the females. Now for Boa Hancock. I think Boa Hancock is in a very interesting position. Boa Hancock has insane portrayal, but for the most part in the story, Hancock has been relegated to somewhat of a support character for Luffy, where for me at this point, I worry about Hancock's character agency. We know the situation that she's currently in, right? Coby's on his way to face Boa Hancock, and I think this moment in time is very important in regards to Hancock's future. I've said this before and I'll say it again. I do not think Coby's stronger than Boa Hancock. However, based on how females have been treated in One Piece in general, I would definitely not be surprised if Oda figures out a way to make Coby defeat Boa Hancock, either with help. Another theory is that Fujitora is on his way there as well, so of course in that situation Hancock is expected to lose, but Boa Hancock really hasn't accomplished anything in regards to strength, right? She's a very strong character, and for the most part she's been validated by people around her, things she did at Marineford, but outside of that she hasn't really done much. But we do recognize her as one of the strongest female characters in One Piece. Now let's go to Smoothie. Smoothie is a commander of Big Moms. In Whole Cake Island she was completely irrelevant, and we cannot leave out her incompetence. It was so bad at one point that Big Mom had to step in herself and told Smoothie like just to get out the way. Smoothie literally was just there in name but didn't accomplish anything, and she's a commander of Big Moms. And I must say, I'm not surprised that this is the case. When we got to Whole Cake Island, when we learned of the Big Mom commanders, when we saw Smoothie was there, it was like, okay, we have to see what Oda will do with this strong female, and nothing came of it for the most part. Even staying within the realm of Whole Cake Island, a character like Reiju, who was hyped up to be, you know, a modified human and to be fairly strong, right? She's the older sister of Sanji. She's been training for a long time, and she was able to be taken out by Pudding and captured by Pudding, right? Yes, Pudding had special bullets, etc., but Reiju, she is a fighter. That's what she does, and she is modified. Reiju should not have been taken down by Pudding. Of course, she was taken down by another female, but that automatically downgrades Reiju, and it creates this stigma and this perception of females in One Piece that no matter what, they will always be beneath the men in the story. And of course, we can go to just how sometimes the over-sexualization of these characters could lead to them being viewed in a certain way. That's definitely a thing in One Piece, and maybe that's part of the problem. And that brings us back to Yamato. I think Yamato is an interesting scenario because Yamato, while being a female, she in some ways is identifying as Odin. And I don't want to go completely off the mark here because it's like looking at Kuina's message, right? As far as her saying, as long as I'm a female, I will never be viewed as strong, or I will eventually be surpassed by men. But Yamato, I respect what she's doing because even though she is a female, it seems like she believes she can be as strong and viewed as strong as a man in Odin. So I'm not sure if Oda is going to go there and in some way reference what Kuina said, because what would be really cool is how Zoro interacts with Yamato. Would Yamato be offended with Zoro having Enma, saying he's not worthy of it? Would Zoro have to prove himself? So all in all, it's interesting, but I don't think it's bad, and we shouldn't criticize people who view it in the way of, well, Yamato, we expected a certain thing from her when she was perceived as a male. Now she's a female. People are a bit wary. And now I think something that we can kind of look at as, you know, maybe an issue, it could be an issue, is the fact that she may have a love interest in Ace, right? And that's probably jumping the gun a bit because we don't know the relationship between Ace and Yamato. However, in these situations, the love interest can be perceived as a weakness, and vulnerability in that way could downgrade Yamato, right? I'm not saying that's the case. My stance and my perception of Yamato's strength has remained the same from male to female, but I understand why people are so wary of Yamato now being a female and how Oda will handle her going forward. This is something we're going to keep track of because I want us to remember where we are now. Let's keep the same energy for Yamato being female and male. Let's not try to downgrade her. If he had her around king and queen while she was a male, let's keep her there as a female and see how things progress for her as the arc goes on. Because in Wano so far, I must say the females have been very impressive. Sans Black Maria, because she just went and did the thing that I do not like females doing, doing in, these scenarios where it's like, well, there was a great opportunity to showcase these females, and then Black Maria just wanted to be cuddled up with Kaido. The arc isn't over. Black Maria can still show her stuff, but it's just like, it goes back to that narrative. But guys, give me your thoughts. How do you perceive females in One Piece? Like, should they be viewed differently than the men in One Piece? Is that a problem in One Piece? Or is it all just overblown and it's not that big of a deal? And I want to be clear so this isn't misconstrued. Strength does not define a character. Right? Just because you're strong doesn't mean you're going to be a good character. However, in One Piece, some of the best characters, they're normally followed with great strength, because in One Piece with great strength, normally there's more relevance, and that leads to a better written character. Again, from the Whitebeards to the Garps to the Doflamingos, fairly strong characters and amazing in their own right. The best female character in One Piece currently, that's anybody's guess. Let me know below. Who is the best female character in One Piece in regards to just being a dope character? Some people may say Vivi. Are we going to say Dadan? For me, the best female character in One Piece? I'll save that for another video. But yeah, give me your thoughts. Make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel for more content like this. Follow me on Twitter at BrogODAce. Follow me on Instagram at Brogdy.ace. Thank you to my patrons. I appreciate you guys so much. Make sure to like and subscribe. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.